Please tell me, what about wikinomics? What is it?
Well, a wiki is software enabling a large number of people to edit a document on the internet, but it's become a metaphor for collaboration that can occur on an astronomical scale. And wikinomics is just the practice and theory of collaboration. It's the economics of collaboration.
And how could that become a kind of business revolution?
Well, the internet is now the new web, Web 2.0, is becoming a global infrastructure that's radically dropping transaction and collaboration costs. That means that organizations can now seek capability and talent outside of their boundaries. And this is leading to a profound change in the deep structures and architecture of the corporation, how we innovate, how we engage with the rest of the world. And companies that can figure this out are tending to be successful, and those that don't are tending to fall behind.
Could you illustrate that through a concrete example?
Well, in wikinomics, there are many stories. One of them is of a gold mining company called Goldcorp, where the CEO, a small company, was very frustrated by his geologists who couldn't tell him where the gold was. And he was ready to shut the company down because he couldn't go into production. But he had a revelation one day. He wondered, if my geologists don't know where the gold is, maybe somebody else does. So he published his geological data and held a contest on the internet called the Goldcorp Challenge. $500,000 in prize money for anyone who can tell me, do I have gold, and if so, where is it? And he got 77 submissions from all around the world using techniques that he'd never heard of. And for his $500,000 in prize money, he found $3.4 billion worth of gold. And the value of his company went from $90 million to $10 billion. So this is a business leader who applied the principles of wikinomics to building a successful enterprise. Well, in wikinomics, there are many different business models. And the volunteer community, like Wikipedia, or initially Linux, is just one. And in fact, in Wikipedia, people contribute for many reasons. It's fun, it's a hobby, they're trying to create something wonderful, they don't like Britannica, maybe they do it because they just like creating knowledge, or perhaps for their reputation. And there are no direct monetary benefits. But for many, there are indirect benefits. It's a way of learning. And if I get a resume from someone who's written 50 articles on Wikipedia, that tells me more about that person than that they went to the Harvard Business School. It says that they're motivated, they're self-acting, they know how to communicate, they know how to get something through the system, they can defend their ideas, they're an innovator. And in Linux, the vast majority of people in Linux are paid now. It started out being a volunteer community, but over time, market forces are brought to bear. And most of the examples in wikinomics, everybody's making money. These business models become monetized.
Could you give examples for business models possible through the wikinomics? Which different kinds of business models exist?
Well, the one that I just described was the peer pioneers, we call them. But there are ideagoras. These are open markets for innovation, like Innocentive, 150,000 scientists that are there to solve problems, bringing all of the people in the world with problems together with the people who have solutions. This is the ultimate dream of ideagoras. There are prosumers, where customers become involved, consumers become involved in producing goods and services. So if I go on to Second Life and do something there, I'm producing the Second Life product. There are benefits to me for doing that, not financial in this case typically, although many organizations are now in Second Life in order to make money. But here's a company where 99% of its product is created by its customers. Another business model is open platforms, where you open up your business infrastructure like Amazon has done with its open APIs, and it has 200,000 programmers creating value on the Amazon platform. The Chinese motorcycle industry is dozens of little companies that all cooperate together. And they meet in tea houses and on the internet. But there's no OEM, there's no Yamaha pulling all the strings. It's a self-organizing industry. This is now the this is the largest motorcycle industry in the world, and it accounts for 1/3 of all motorcycle production. So these are very different models of how you get capability to create wealth.
And yeah, in your presentation, you've been talking about fun, about the youth, that the youth wants to have fun and is seeing through all what they are doing, that they have fun with it, also through working and everything combined. So what is for you the most fun business model that you've seen as an example for the wikinomics?
Well, they're all fun to me. A place where many organizations start is the one that we call the wiki workplace, where they use social networks and blogs and jams and RSS feeds and telepresence and so on within an organization. This is very exciting. I mean, every one of these business models is very exciting to me. I mean, one we call the New Alexandrians, that's the reinvention of science. This holds the potential of solving some huge problems facing society, where we bring mass collaboration to bear on, say, overcoming global warming and climate change, or to discover new cures for cancer, for AIDS, or whatever. So I just got back from an African safari. I was there for almost 3 weeks, and I just think about AIDS a lot, meeting a lot of the people, and how important it is to solve these problems.
Okay, so you're taking it now to a very serious point. So what do you wish for the future, what the internet or what the wikinomics could bring out?
Well, that's a good question. What could it bring? You see, I don't really predict the future. To me, the future is something not to be predicted. It's something to be achieved. And my hope for the future is that in the next decade or two, we will see profound changes to the corporation as we develop new innovative network models that embrace wikinomics. We'll see big changes to our governments and to the nature of democracy as we move towards a much more participatory model of democracy where citizens are engaged. Especially young people are really demanding that. The old, you vote, I rule model of democracy is inappropriate for a generation that's grown up interacting. And hopefully we'll see big changes to other institutions like education, our model of pedagogy, the one-way, teacher-focused, one-size-fits-all model of learning where the student is isolated doesn't make any sense anymore. We can move towards a student-focused, collaborative model of learning where you get better performance. And by the way, which is more appropriate for young people who want to collaborate when they learn.
Okay, and last but not least, what is your favorite internet or mobile service which you have been using during the last day?
Well, a service that I'm really interested in is one called IntelliOne. Now, full disclosure, I like it so much, I've become an advisor to the company. But these things give off ambient signals, and they can be triangulated so that you can know the location of any device. And then using calculus and geometry, they determine the speed of movement of all cell phones, which means you know the speed of movement of all traffic. So this leads to all kinds of really interesting applications. I mean, you could put a geo-fence around your 13-year-old daughter, for example. So IntelliOne, I think, is going to be a very big company.
Okay, so thank you for the interview.
My pleasure.